Welcome back, everybody, to the weekend show. I'll be breaking down the big mega cap stocks. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. And now, let's get right into the market. All right, so Dow is up 1.14%, closing at a record high. Nasdaq down close to 1%, S&P flat, and Russell going down just over half a percent, advancing 48.5, declining 47.5. So pretty much a 50-50 here between advancing and declining on Thursday. 11 sectors that makes up S&P 500. You can see majority of the sectors were actually in the green. Healthcare led the way, consumer defensive, basic materials, utilities, real estate, even energy, and then financial industrials only lagged behind. Technology, communication services, consumer cyclical, and that is due to Tesla going down. And you can see right here, Tesla was down about 7.5, 8%. A lot of green. Apple was up nearly 5%. Microsoft, and then only thing you'll see here is a lot of memory chips and semiconductor names. Those were down on the day. Market sentiment, you can see right here, 31.4% are bullish, 26.4% are neutral, and 42.3% are bearish. So huge jump from last one, which was 36.1. Fear and greed index still on fear, 32. We'll see how that goes going into tomorrow morning, Monday. And now let's get right into Microsoft. And Microsoft is up 1.62%, so big rally here on Microsoft, pretty much closing at the high of the day and also closing over that 389 to 390 marker right here. You can see over also the 20-day moving average, which is sitting now close to 387. So come tomorrow morning, Monday, if this thing wants to continue, I would like to see Microsoft over 400. If that happens this week, there is going to be a massive, and I mean massive short squeeze to the upside. Another thing I want to point out, guys, we had this bottom, we ran all the way back up to 460 plus on Microsoft, gave it all back just to come down and make a new low. But what's different here? Well, when you look at right here, we did put in a bottom right here in the short term, but no high volume. But look at right here, guys. What happened right here? Huge volume came in. Now again, yes, we're bouncing off these lows, but I would like to see Microsoft over 400. That would trigger a big rally back up to the upside. And don't forget, we still have these gaps, and not to mention this gap here on top. And I think July 29th, that's when the earnings come out. So this thing still have about 4 more weeks for a run up into the earnings, and that would be a perfect move to the upside if this thing moves over 400. Key levels to watch right here, definitely 390 to 387, 20-day moving average. If it falls below that, watch out for 382 and then 378. On Nvidia stock, it was down 1.39%, so not really having a good day. We had a gap down here a couple days ago. We were not able to fill the gap. We came all the way back up to 200, and looks like it's finding strong resistance here around 200 and this trend line here from the top. You got a couple of touches here, and now it's finding resistance right here. And you can see 200 to 203. That's going to be a big area to cross here on Nvidia. To the downside, so far 195-ish, pretty much trying to hold, but we closed slightly below that. Underneath that, we can come down and fill the gap here at 189.66. But if Nvidia can actually stay over 195.62 and gets over 200, there is going to be another big rally. At least I think in the short term, we'll see 203 to 208 to close this gap here on top. All right, so just a quick reminder for you guys that I'm running a special on Patreon, and that promo code is right here. You can see you can get annual membership. You get 35% off using this promo code, and Patreon will take off additional 10% instantly when you go for that annual membership. Also, for the first time ever, I'm actually running a special on monthly membership. People that cannot afford annual membership or not really ready to commit for a full year. There will be a special promo right here. You can see you can use this one for monthly membership and you get 30% off on your monthly membership. Now, this special is limited, which is going to end tomorrow. Today is Sunday, tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. And after that, it'll go back to regular price, $100 per month, and also 1200 plus dollars for annual membership. So huge discount. If you want to take advantage, go ahead and check that link out in the description. And if you go ahead and join, make sure to send me a message in the Discord or tag me right here in the Traders Lounge so I can give you access if you cannot sync your Discord up from Patreon. On Meta, it's down nearly 5%. So Meta, we had this massive move and then this pullback. Mark Zuckerberg came out and the comments he made that led to this big sell-off. So we'll see how if this thing can recover. But this is gonna be a key crucial area as a support right here, guys. 577 to 576, these two moving averages right here has to hold. And if this thing is going to bounce, we need to see Meta over 600. Technically, that's gonna look a little bit more better, not extremely bullish, but that would be a better sign that Meta wants to run even higher. But watch right here, this key support zone. If that breaks right here, these two moving averages, we will likely to come down and fill the gap at 565, possibly even head lower. On Google, stock is down 0.48%. So Google had this nice move up and now it's pulling it back a little bit. But if you look at my screen, we did close right on that 5-day moving average, or actually 20-day moving average right here at 356. If we can hold that, watch out for continuation up to 368 to even higher up to these areas right here around 373 to 376. If this thing comes down under 356, there will be support at 350.67 and then 342 here on Google. On Amazon stock, it's up 0.40%. So Amazon holding 242. If that holds, we will likely to come back up and retest 250 once again. And breaking over 250 will take Amazon higher right here, right about 255 and then 258. And don't forget about the gap 269. Also, we talked about it in my previous video that these names like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Amazon had a decent correction and we put in a bottom with some high volume. We talked about it right on this day about this volume here when we put in this bottom. So if this thing continues, it can go much, much higher. To the downside, 242 gives up, 236. Underneath that, watch out for 228 to 224 right here where we found support. On Tesla stock is down 7.5%. So I don't know if this is gonna be a retest of this, wedge breakout, or we're just gonna collapse here and come down even more. We do have earnings coming out on the 22nd of this month, so we'll see if this thing can hold up right here, 390 to 389. If that does not hold, next stop is 375, possibly down to lower band 369. To the upside, there will be resistance at 399 to 400, a 20-day moving average 406. Over that, we could see some upside here up to 415 this week. On Apple stock, it's up 4.84%, so really nice move up here on Apple. We also talked about it, the volume here. Apple, I played it and I don't have any more. Sold all my calls on Friday. What about the runners I had? I was actually selling into the rally. I didn't know it was going to go up this much. Otherwise, I would keep this entire position. But this is massive. We got in right here, right about 275, 276 with calls and pretty much riding it up. And this was massive. We talked about it with how much Apple was down from the top to bottom. We give you a hint, and now look at what it's doing, guys. Massive move. 303 will be a key support zone to watch. If this thing remains over 303, more than likely that it would go back up and retest previous all-time highs, which is going to be around 317 plus. 303 breaks, then watch out. We might come back to 300, 294, 293, right here to retest 20-day and 50-day moving average. On AMD, it was down 4.26%. So market definitely not just selling off and going down to zero. Nothing like happening here. What's happening? A lot of rotation. AMD hit a brand new all-time high once again this week. Came back in. So I think there might be a little bit more downside if we go under 500, 503. We might fill this gap, but it's not gonna go, I don't think it's going to go under 430 anytime soon. So AMD, as long as it's over 500, watch out for the resistance right here at 540. Over that, you're going to see going back up to 563, and then maybe even going back up to this all-time high, which we put in last week, right about 585. On Broadcom, it was down 2.41%, and we hit the final support level 356 here. You can see we saw a bit of a bounce here, but this is the area where we saw massive, massive rejections before, and now it's coming back, finding support. So this has to hold right here, 356. If this thing holds, we have a shot where this thing can go up to 374 and possibly even higher into 387. And also, I mean, it's been on a downtrend for quite some time. And if you look at it, guys, I mean, just have a look at this from the top to the bottom. I mean, this thing is down right about 30%, 28%. So that is a massive correction on a stock like Broadcom. So definitely within the buy range right here. But again, it's on a downtrend. So if you're buying calls, weekly calls, or 2 weeks out, may not work for you. But if you're thinking outside the box and going long, definitely worth looking at it. On SpaceX, it was up 2.83%, nearly 3%. So SpaceX actually did well, where Tesla sold off aggressively on Thursday. But you can see it's hanging in there, guys. Right here, that 157 held as a support and just hanging in there, As long as that holds, we can come up and retest 168 and possibly go higher. But this is going to be a crucial area right here, 157 to bottom of the range. I would say 147, the $10 move here that will actually decide whether this thing wants to hold up here and go higher, or a breakdown will bring it down to a new low, which is going to be an opportunity for a lot of people that are waiting to buy the dip on SpaceX. So even though it's just too much to include all these stocks, I don't think anybody out there can include all these stocks in one video. It's just too much. But because how big of a move we got on Netflix, especially on Thursday, I need to include this, and possibly will include some of the other names just for this video. But you can see a massive move, almost up 5%. And now, I mean, if this thing putting in a double bottom here, or the bottom, watch out. If this thing pulls back, there will be support right here around 76. As long as we're over 76 right here, watch out for continuation up to 79.36. Over that, you're going to see a move up to 82 on Netflix, and I think this one was down quite a bit. So now if this thing is going down, things are gonna go up, really quick here on Netflix, and you're going to see a big upside here on the stock. What's interesting here, that you don't want to breach this low here, which is at 70 bucks. If that's out, then definitely, you need to cut your losses. And, if you're not long here, you need to definitely cut your losses and get out and buy it at a cheaper price. But I think in the short term, we might have put in a bottom here on Netflix, and now it will continue to move higher. But again, I think earnings are coming up, so we'll see how that goes here on Netflix. So the next one, I just want to talk about Oracle here, and this thing also came back. I mean, if you look at my screen, just have a look at this, guys. And this is not so, like just some random small company. Look at this, 44% down in just matter of few days. So, and I can just put this line right about here. You guys can see it. It's a downtrend. So if this thing breaks and we get a bullish candle come next week, definitely, I mean, there's a bunch of gaps, and this thing can continue to the upside. I mean, where was it? 200 50 plus, and now we gave back more than $100. So I think this is a fantastic opportunity. Can it go lower? Yes, it can, but I think at this level, I mean, the worst case scenario would be going down to like 130, 128. But I think this is a fantastic area to take some risk here on Oracle. And I do have some shares and some calls, and will likely to add even more if this thing comes down and makes a new low. And these are not short term where I'm going to sell out, within a week or so, unless there is a big rally. But so far, it's looking good, especially when it comes to, how much this thing is down from recent highs. And I think we can see, at least a multi-day rally here on Oracle. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. And I'll definitely catch up with you guys tomorrow night, and make sure to check out that Patreon special. Will last up until tomorrow morning, and then it's gone, and you get all types of trade ideas. Whatever I take in real time, I do share that uh, within the Patreon group